Avenue and Main Street in downtown Riverside. Inland Empire weather, mostly sunny tomorrow, a little cooler, highs near 87, lows tonight about 67. Currently it's about 91 degrees in San Bernardino. That's the latest in local news. I'm Di Rice on KCAA 1050 AM. This report has been brought to you by Paula Casino Spa and Resort. Unleash your inner foodie with chef-inspired food and wine pairings at Cave, now open at Paula Casino and Resort. It's a one-of-a-kind wine cave, lounge, and dining experience you'll have to see to believe. Visit paulacasino.com to learn more.
West Coast Auto of Montclair is the 2015 top-rated pre-owned dealer in California, offering a service department that surpasses expectations in every single way. And while you're there, browse West Coast Auto's extensive lot of best-in-class pre-owned vehicles.
You're getting the best-in-class vehicles with financing options like 0% down and no payments for 90 days. Visit westcoastauto.com or call 9099-million.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Tom Ladd for this afternoon. Chance of showers and thunderstorms before 11 a.m. Mostly sunny. Expect a high near 91. A light westerly wind increasing to 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Partly cloudy tonight, low around 65. For Friday, sunny. Expect a high near 89 degrees. Friday night, patchy fog after 11 p.m. Otherwise, partly cloudy with low around 65. That's your weather forecast for this hour from the station that leaves no listener behind, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, KCAA.
Financial words of wisdom with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
Staying out of the market is the most dangerous thing you can do for your financial future.
If you continue to spend like a drunken sailor, you're going to run out of money. This is not poker. This is your financial future.
It's helpful financial food for thought on your drive home with a host who tells it like it is. Market Wrap with Mo Ansari. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on KCAA 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Here's a look at the KCAA community calendar. You can win tickets to the Junior University Musical Theater presentation of The Jungle Book. Just listen to KCAA all day long and get ready to win. Are you looking for adventurous entertainment for the whole family? Then join Junior University for a musical theater experience that is unmatched under the stars at Roosevelt Bowl in Paris Hill Park. This year, it's Mugwai and the Adventures in the Heart of the Jungle as Junior University presents William R. Dixon's adaptation of The Jungle Book. Show dates are July 17th through August 1st. Starting time is 8:15 p.m. General admission is just $10 for adults, and children 12 years old and younger are just $5. Two parents and all their children under 18 years can purchase a family ticket at the box office for just $25, and you can save 20% on a family ticket if you print it out at home by going to junioruniversity.org. Listen to KCAA and win tickets to The Jungle Book. And that's a look at the KCAA community calendar. I'm Mark Westwood.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Welcome to Smart Health Talk with your host, Elaine McFadden.
Take a walk on the wild side, where the birds and the bees survive. Right before me, my newfound hippie style.
Welcome everyone to Smart Health Talk Radio Show. I'm so glad you're listening to our show. I can't tell you how excited I am. My name's Elaine McFadden, and I'm your host. And I'm also a registered dietitian with a master's in public health. So would like to think that I would have a lot of answers to some everyday questions. And I have to tell you, I've had quite an interesting week. In relation to what I was just saying, I would like to add that I had a great conversation with someone as I was out walking my dog. So I was very proud of myself actually getting out and getting some exercise. And this is someone that was responsible for sprinklers at a community where, there's an association and people pay to have the grounds looking really nice. They have their own houses and their own yards, but there's also grounds all around the area and pool and, park and stuff like that, which the association, they provide. And they also, people have to pay a fee for that. And what I thought was really interesting, because we're looking at major drought here in California, and unfortunately we can't wastewater out here like some of the other parts of the country. But I found it very interesting that they are not allowed to kill the grass because people do pay for the association, and that is one of the laws, that if you pay, that they will make sure that everything stays alive, and if it dies, they're required to replace it. So I know that there was a law passed trying to deal with this. According to him, it hasn't totally been solved. So basically, all of these associations, it's against the law for them to save water. But they do save water in lots of ways, that they get notification if there's broken sprinklers and they stay on top of it, that kind of a thing. But they do water 3 times a day, and, they use a lot of water. So I just thought that was interesting. And I also thought it was interesting that he told me something that I have actually thought of many, many times, and that was that he cares about things that have to do with him personally. And I think you'll find that's true of most people. They're like, hey, if I'm going to spend some time on something, it better have to do with me and, my life. And if you tune into Smart Health Talk, I think you'll find that almost every time that's exactly what we're talking about here. I'm going to take a drink. I've got a very dry throat. We have been through some major stuff here in California. And, excuse me, I had the top of one of the most biggest trees in my entire neighborhood fall into my driveway yesterday, because we had practically a monsoon the day before. And I even had mentioned that to my son, that I was very scared, which I've never done before, but I could tell it wasn't like any other storm. And sure enough, not 5 minutes later, the whole top of the tree fell down. So I had quite a day yesterday dealing with all this tree in my yard. And I'm here drinking water, which I did go to my local watering place. We have a really great person here in the Loma Linda area, that not only does he have one of the greatest filtration systems for water, and trust me, I have talked to someone that actually runs a water treatment plant, and there are still things in our water. There are drugs, all different kinds of drugs, including birth control pills, other chemicals, that the city is not willing to remove these. They can be removed, but the city doesn't want to pay. So when you go and get filtered water, hopefully you have someone that has a legitimate filtering system and that they clean the filters on a regular basis. But I personally think it's worth it, because you want to drink more water. And the cost that I pay for this water compared to some of these drinks that people buy, I just cannot believe that they're spending all this money. And, so many people want to have organic. And they know organic's better. They know that it has less pesticide. They know that it's better for them, but they think they can't afford it. And yet they go and spend money on things that I just don't get, because I go and get, like, for $3, I get, this big old giant bottle, two bottles, even of the high pH water. And I know that pH water, as a dietitian, of course, I know that has been something that has been a really popular choice. And high pH water actually does have benefit. They sell high pH water there to their customers, and we have Loma Linda Medical Center not far away. And many of the patients are drinking this water, and they're actually seeing some positive results from the high pH water. And so much so that doctors have even came down and talked to the owner trying to understand what the heck's going on, because they don't see where the water could have any difference. Now, if I could go buy some high pH water, it's going to benefit me. I would much rather spend my money on that water and be drinking that than all of these other drinks that are actually causing harm to my body. And that is why, if you have been listening to Smart Health Talk, then you would be one of the people that are aware that San Francisco passed an ordinance where warning labels have to be on all the billboards. They have to, for sure, have those up around schools. They can't have limited amount they can sell around schools. The city will not be selling soda anymore, the city of San Francisco, and they are starting to tax. So, there's a reason for that. Yeah, there's a reason, because we have study after study showing the link between all kinds of diseases. Number one, obesity, which is linked to a bunch of other diseases. So, that is something that should be telling you that you should be rethinking. And I'm saying all this because we have the 4th of July right around the corner. That's right. Woohoo. And we got some big old parties going on. I hope everyone out there is planning a good party. And I hope that you're thinking about organic as part of your party. I was just here listening to some commercials on the way over, and the price. Come and get some of our boneless, skinless chicken breasts and thighs. Now, I have said many times on this show, that is the biggest ripoff out there. Anyone that thinks that, if I eat boneless, skinless chicken breasts, I'm going to stay skinny and a drumstick is going to make me fat, you are not looking at your whole diet, because dark meat is not going to make you fat. The amount of fat in there extra is, you're going to eat it somewhere else anyway, because you get hungry for fat. So why not get good fat from an organic chicken? And you can buy a whole chicken for like $12, $14. Do some of that beer can action, cooking it on the barbecue with the beer can and collecting those drippings. And then you can make something else out of those drippings if you want. Add it to another dish. Get that nice crispy skin on the outside, and we just stuff it with oranges and lemons and rub the outside with some really great spices. And that's all it takes. And just cook it for about an hour at about 350 degrees, and that chicken is going to come out perfect. Why are you spending all kinds of money on boneless, skinless, anything? Just the fact that they had to take the bones out and the skin just raised the price by like double. So please don't fall for that this July 4th. And please don't be buying Cool Whip. I know, 4th of July, I think a Cool Whip. And I tell you, that's one of the most fake things. Trans fat, chemical. Don't buy it. Don't buy Cool Whip. Okay? Don't buy like a bunch of package things in packages. I make coleslaw in like 15 minutes. Homemade coleslaw, all organic ingredients. So easy. So many things you can make simple for 4th of July. And please try and make them organic. Go to your local farmer's market and stock up on all the good stuff for salads and fruit for the kids. And you can take fruit and you can make juice out of it, and then you can make popsicles that are so much fun. You just get those little homemade popsicle kits, and you can get fresh oranges and squeeze them and make orange popsicles. You could add some Strauss's whipped cream to there and have a creamsicle, an orange creamsicle. I mean, go to my Pinterest site, Smart Health Talk, and I have got a whole folder on that. There is like lots of fun things. And under my weight loss meals, I've got stuff like that, because you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. It's when you're buying some of these ice creams that are full of pesticides and GMOs and antibiotics and chemicals. It's like, why? And I just really want to do a shout out to everyone out there. There are people out there that fought for that Trans-Pacific Partnership. I tell you, the fact that the Republicans liked it, that should be a red flag right there. And I just feel so bad, because I know that so many people have fought tooth and nail for this because they're trying to protect the rights of Americans and our ability to get a decent price for our products, that we're not having to compete against other countries. And the fact that the quality in these other countries is so low compared to ours, you know, if you don't think that that is going to affect the quality of our shrimp and many of these other foods, and I tell you, I have got the proof right here in front of me. If you tune in and watch us right here in the studio, of course, you can go to kcaaradio.com and you can watch us live. And you'll see me sitting here, and we got our 4th of July flags here because we're very patriotic. And I tell you, I just had a 4-star general join me on, add me to their circle on Google+. And I am really proud of that because I am a very patriotic person, and actually back in the 80s I wrote a letter to, at the time, Senator Pete Wilson, asking him to please vote no on a pesticide bill that was going to increase the amount of pesticides used. And this is how far back everything goes. And in that letter, I told Senator Wilson that in my mind, when we are creating a situation where we are turning our food into a poisonous substance, and that we are creating food that is causing all kinds of disease, that is a threat to our national security. That is a threat to our country because we are putting burdens on our healthcare system. We are turning our population into a group of weak, sick people that are dependent on drugs to be alive. And if it's not some heart drug or then it's got to be like some anxiety drug, or we got some Oxycontin going on, which is heroin, of course. And so we have all these people addicted to heroin. And you know how I know that? Because the United States uses 99% of all the Vicodin made in the world. So I think we have a lot of heroin addicts here in the United States that are kind of closet heroin addicts because, yeah, they're not shooting up, but they're sure popping that Oxycontin. And I tell you, that's all the same thing. And I feel like I can talk because I've been around. I know what's going on. Okay. And I hope you're with me. Please don't leave, because I got a bunch of stuff right here in front of me that I'm going to be going over. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. You want to know what's going on here because this is affecting you. Like I said at the beginning of this show, every single thing I talk about today has to do with you. That's right. So, and why am I here? Because I care. I care about you. I care about your health. I'm pissed off in a major friggin' way that you don't get the truth on television. That's right. They're not telling you the whole story. Nuh-uh-uh. Don't you think that. And I tell you, I am going to plot, plot, plot. I arrive, I plot, 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 and I break it. My son taught me that. And we're going to start breaking some stuff. That's right. We're going to be breaking a lot in this show. As a matter of fact, I'm even going to start bringing in some stuff. I'm going to break some stuff right here. I'm going to get my point across. I plan on breaking a lot of things. Because you know what? This system, the systems that we have in this country are screwed up. And we just keep on using the same bad system over and over and over again. We need to break it. That's right. We need to break it. And we need to start over again. And I'm going to plot, plot, plot. I'm going to come in and I am going to break it. That's right. And we're going to starting over in this country even better. Be better than ever. How does that sound? I think that sounds damn good to me on this 4th of July. I'd like the thought of this country being the best country ever. How about that? How about having the healthiest people in the world? Think about that for a second. Whoa. Hey, instead of our companies and our hospitals and our food and our water and our air and all these things making us fat and sick, how about a country that nurtures us? that makes organic, non-pesticide, non-GMO food affordable. How about that? Because you think we can't have it? We could have it in a second. For the amount of money we spent on that last war, every single person in this country could have been living in a nice house for that money that we spent on that war. And I just had you over here mention the word greed, and you got it right on that nail right on the head, or however you say that. Because that's what the core of it is. Greed. Money, money, money. You know what? I've been around. Okay, I had some money. I had big old diamonds on. I had all that stuff before. But you know what? It didn't make me any bit happier. Oh, yeah, it was fun. Oh, yeah, look at my diamonds. You know, I'm trying to make me feel like I'm more important somehow. You know, yeah, it was fun to walk into a store and watch all the salespeople jump and want to come over and wait on me like I really had money. But, you know, the thing was, you know, that these are not what is important in life. What is important in life is happiness, family, you know, the things that really make us feel good. And so much of this material stuff, it's just owning stuff. It's actually sucking the life out of us because we're spending so much time maintaining this thing and that thing, thinking, oh gosh, they came out with a new TV. It's 2 inches bigger. I have got to start saving my $2,000 to get that new TV. You know, instead, think about what else you could be doing with that money. You know? Not only could you be doing something within your own family, but within your community. And maybe that might even bring you more happiness than that new TV, because the other one probably still works just fine. So I would really like to ask people to think about that and think about the companies that you're supporting too, because we have companies coming out. I mentioned last week, General Mills, oh, we're going to take we're taking the chemicals and the artificial flavors and colors out, when, you know, this is something they have done in Europe for many years. They could care less about Americans and the fact that we've been eating this all this time. What do they care about? Greed. That's right. They did it for the money because those chemicals are cheaper than the other ingredients. And so, you know, why else are they doing it when they already were doing it different somewhere else? So do these people deserve our money, considering there's still pesticides and GMOs like crazy in their products? I do not want to give them my money. I enjoy not giving them my money. It is so satisfying. I say, no, these are my dollars, and I decide who gets them. And I say, you guys don't deserve it because you've been treating my people bad. You've been hurting my people, the people that I care about. You've been hurting them with food, because food is a weapon. Food is the cause of many diseases. We know that now. This is not, you know, they got away with that back in the 80s and the 70s. Oh, we don't know that there's really a link. Well, guess what? Now we know without a doubt. And that's why France said no to glyphosate. That's right. They just came out and they said, we don't want any of your friggin' glyphosate from your friggin' Monsanto company here in France. We're going to stop using it because they've seen the picture on the wall. You think they're just making this decision just out of the air? These people fight tooth and nail. I'm talking all the big biotech companies to keep these kind of decisions from being made. They're willing to do whatever. So the fact that they made the decision, that information should be telling you Why aren't we doing that here? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Why are we not doing that here when they're doing that in Europe? Yeah. Start asking that question. Start talking to people. Everyone, we are so afraid to talk to each other. We need to start sharing. You know, we have gotten where we're just like media robots. We just sit around. We let the media just fill our head with whatever. We don't question. We don't research. You know, we are just accepting. Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. We would never put too many pesticides on your food. No. We never go over the limit. You know, we have all these farmers out there spraying pesticides. I'm sure that every single farmer follows the directions explicitly. Wrong. Not happening. No. We got farmers out there doing whatever, some more bugs come up, they'll just spray again. They don't necessarily play by the rules. And I'm not talking about all farmers, of course. Many farmers do play by the rules. But the rules are the problem. It's not them. It's the system that has been set up for them to use by these chemical companies. And then they become slaves to the system. And the bugs are so bad. Let me give you an example. In Ontario, Canada, right now, and we have talked about this several times on the show because we have to have a plan. We can't just change everything overnight. That's true. We can change our own personal lives. We can't change the system overnight. But one thing we can change overnight is our own personal habits. And we know from several studies that have been done, eating studies, where the family eats just conventional and then just organic. They test their urine for pesticides. There is no question. This is absolute. Every single time they eat conventional, their urine's full of pesticides. They eat organic, their urine is not. Very simple. That's the way it works. So don't anyone get in their head thinking, oh, I can't trust if it's organic or not. Yes, you can. Okay? Now, and that's what happens when you go out. Now, Ontario, they are fighting because they did pass a law. They took action right on Ontario. They took action to ban these pesticides that are killing millions of bees. And if you have been a Smart Health Talk listener, which I'm hoping if it's your first time today, you're saying, hey, I got to make sure at Thursday at 4 o'clock, I got to tune in for Elaine's show, because that's one place I'm going to get the truth. I'm going to get the latest on what's going on, and I'm going to find out about things that have to do with me and my family. That's right. So I hope that I'm getting through your head there, and you're starting to think that. Because we're on every Thursday at 4 o'clock here, and Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. How about that, in case you missed it? Or you want to tell your friends to tune in. Now, they ban these pesticides. Well, the farmers already planted with the pesticide-coated seeds. That's right. The seeds are coated with pesticide. And I am so angry. Boy, I just sound like an angry woman. One of those angry women. But I'm really actually a very happy person too. But no, I am angry because I have been trying to start my garden. And it is a lot of work. An incredible amount of work. But part of that work means that I've been burning calories. So that part is good. And I could tell I've been building the core on just out there working, moving my body, digging, lifting heavy things, all that kind of stuff. So I highly recommend it. It's a lot of work. It's exhausting. But eventually you get to a certain point where it's not as much work and you're just getting the benefits, okay? And I already been getting benefits out of my garden. I picked some really nice tomatoes there, Joe. Yeah, I just had some for breakfast today. Yeah, some big Cherokee purples. Perfect. It was the absolute perfect tomato. And I tell you, we had kind of got some family went out of town, so they cleaned out their fridge, gave us some things. I tell you, because in my little fruit and vegetable store that I had many years ago, I used to watch how things spoil. And organic spoils different than conventional, pretty much every single time. And those of you that I have mentioned this on my show as well that have seen weird brown spots in your avocados, you notice that your tomatoes are just spoiling kind of weird. They get weird, like, I call it like sores. To me, they look like sores. It's where it's weird spots and then they start molding. And the thing is, like, organic tomatoes don't mold like that. They don't spoil like that. They get dehydrated, but they don't get these weird sores on them. And to me, that just shows what's missing in the soil, because conventional soil is missing stuff. It's missing important stuff, all kinds of things. And when it's missing this important nutrient, what does the plant have to put in the slot instead? Starch. So you're getting more starch, less nutrition from this food. Okay, I don't think that's hard to figure out. That right there sounds like an equation for obesity. And you'd be right if you were thinking that, because the more of this worthless starch that you're consuming in replace of nutrition, it's not food that your body needs to prevent disease and build new cells that it needs. All different kinds of cells. Your body needs all different kinds of cells every single day. And you think that it just makes all this stuff out of thin air? No. You need nutrition to make these tissues. This is human tissue, human muscle tissue, human immune cells. And those immune cells are pretty miraculous. They're like a whole friggin' army, and we're not kidding when we say army that is fighting for you all the time. And I don't know about you, but I want my army with top of the line, high technology, latest technology weapons. I want my army armed to the hilt, okay? I want them to have everything. I want them body armor, latest tanks. Man, I want my army, I want my men like bulletproof. And I want them able to kill any bad guys with a bunch of weapons. Whatever we can create, man, I want them to have it. Because I don't want to get sick. I don't care if it's something as simple as the flu where I'm throwing up with diarrhea or something like that. I don't want that either, okay? I don't want that. I don't want cancer. I don't want heart disease. I don't want any of these things. And I know that when I give my body all these great, fresh, organic fruits and vegetables, and I know that every person listening to the show right now knows that organic fruits and vegetables are the number one best thing for your body. That's it. That's the number one best thing for your body. So when I'm putting lots of those fresh organic fruits and vegetables in my body, especially just picked from my garden, which I got to do this week, it just like makes the meal so much more enjoyable because you're not feeling guilty. And as much as you want to deny it, when you're sitting there eating that Kentucky Fried Chicken or that McDonald's burger or whatever, you know in your mind you're not doing a good thing for your body. Let's face it. And that guilt is just kind of sitting there under the surface because you know you're not doing a good thing for you, that person you're supposed to love, that body you're supposed to take care of. You know, what are you doing for it? You know, what are you doing? Why are you putting all that junk in there? You know, don't you want to feel good? Don't you want to have energy? Don't you want to live a long time and enjoy your grandkids and all that kind of stuff and be having fun all along the way, traveling the world, you know? I got dreams, man. I got things I want to do still. I don't want to be having a heart attack. And trust me, there were people in my family that were already dead at my age, like my dad. So this is like real to me. Real. And so I know that I have choices every single day what I am putting in my mouth. And I tell you, when I'm sitting there looking at all those beautiful colors and then that stuff is going through my fork into my mouth and I'm swallowing it, I'm thinking, yeah, my body's getting all that good stuff. It's going to be making some really new cells. I'm going to feel better tomorrow. My skin's going to be a little glowy maybe. You know, it's just like I got stuff to look forward to. You know, when I sit down and if I ate a bunch of junk food, what do I have to look forward to? Nothing. Oh, maybe indigestion, feeling sicker than I have in a long time because I just dumped a bunch of toxins in my body and I normally never do. I would probably feel sick. And it's not worth it. Was that hamburger really that good? Excuse me, on my barbecue, I can make a damn good hamburger. And I got my Cherokee purple tomato on there. And I got my, bread that doesn't have all those chemicals in it, like they had to take out of the Subway ones that they use in the yoga mat. So, I feel really good about my choices. I want you to feel good about your choices too. And I want you to feel good. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. Trust me. I mean, I was out there. I felt like such a powerful woman yesterday because here this big old giant branch broke down and I had a handsaw and I was out there sawing about 50 branches off of this giant chunk of tree. And then not only did I saw those branches off, but I loaded them all in a truck. And I'm pushing 60 here. So I was able to do that. And here my neighbors just stood there all frail, unable to do a damn thing. And I'm over here like some sort of I'm loading this truck with these giant branches. I don't care. And you know what? It just felt good to be strong. It felt good to be able to just do that, even though it was not the funnest job whatsoever. But the fact that I could do it and that I still got that feels good. That feels really good. And I want to keep having it. I want to keep being strong. I don't want to get all weak where I have to just stand there watching everyone else do something like I'm some sort of invalid. I'm fighting it. That's for sure. Okay. Now, if you have tuned in to Smart Health Talk, then you would know that there are a bunch of schools. There is like multiple schools in Salinas. We have 5 schools here in San Bernardino County that are located directly across the street from a field where pesticides are sprayed and agriculture is done. And if you think that those pesticides can't drift right across the street, then we're all a bunch of idiots. Because absolutely it drifts right across the street, full force, full strength, right over into that playground, right into our children's nostrils, right into their mouth, and right into their lungs. This is full strength, heavy duty pesticides that the guys spraying it are wearing hazmat suits. And this is being allowed to go on. Well, the people over in Connecticut said, we are not going to just keep putting up with this. We are going to start taking action. And so this group over there started using their voice, something I try to encourage our listeners to do because it's powerful. Your dollars and your voice are something really powerful. And the thing is, you don't have to spend extra money for this power. You just got to spend your dollars wisely. And you are become a very powerful person, powerful over all these other big companies. And so I just want to congratulate this, I'm trying to find it right here, the group. Okay, pesticides banned on multiple playgrounds in Connecticut. Woohoo! This is the American people at work here. They don't sit around thinking that politicians are going to take care of everything for them. No, they get out there and they take action on their own because they see that the corporations are the people in control, not the politicians. Okay, so I guess over in Connecticut, they passed legislation to ban pesticides on municipal playgrounds in Connecticut, building on existing bans for Connecticut school grounds. Connecticut! Hey! Right on. Listen to that. They have already have bans for pesticides on Connecticut school grounds. Shoot, we need that for California. Why are our kids, our teachers, and staff being exposed to these harmful pesticides as part of their job? And our children, when they're at school, when we are expecting them to be safe, there is no telling what an exposure like that to these pesticides could be doing to our children. We could be setting them up for cancer later on in life from that one exposure, because all it takes is one mutant cell to get the whole thing started. And that stuff will lay dormant in a fat cell in our body for years even, and then one day we burn the fat cell and then that pesticide goes into our body. So when you lose weight, that's why it's really important that you drink a lot of water and lose weight slowly, not too quickly, because you're going to release all these toxins in your body at one time. That's my dietitian self-talking here. There's your a little quick advice. Okay, so they have Connecticut. Not only have they been setting up bans for school grounds, but now also for the playground, municipal playgrounds. So parks, that kind of a thing. So I'm just, I'm looking at this. I'm saying these people are role models, man. These people are role models for the rest of us. We need to be getting our butts in gear. These people are taking action the way the rest of us should. How many other ways do we protect our children? Why are we not protecting them from something this hazardous? We have to. Who else is going to protect them? These politicians are getting paid off. Us as parents that love our children, we have to protect them. And I know it's easier just to think it's not happening. No one wants to think about this stuff. I don't want to think about it. You think I'm having fun having to talk about this? No, I'm doing it because I care. And I'm willing to just face it. Because I need to get this information out, because how else are we going to prevent disease and deaths and all this from these pesticides? Okay, we have to be an informed public. All right, now if you've listened to our show, I really would like to encourage you to check out the PEER, PEER.org. They are a really important group. They are going to be coming back on our show and giving us a report because they were reporting on, they're suing the USDA for keeping the scientists from telling us the truth about the risks of these pesticides. That should tell you something. Then they are working with a whistleblower from the USDA who personally saw the deaths of millions and millions of bees in Massachusetts right after they sprayed these bee-killing pesticides. And there was no doubt in his mind, because she had tried to get him to, tell the truth on what's going on and expose the cover-up from the the EPA. And the guy kept saying, no, it's not that bad. Well, something happened where everything changed. And seeing those millions of dead bees and dying bees, because they die a miserable death, I guess put a switch in his brain where he said, okay, I'm willing to be a whistleblower now. And so the peer group helps him be a whistleblower without having to lose his job. And so this is a very important group and very important work. And the bottom line is we need to stop using these pesticides. Well, some good news is there is some action being taken for one of the deadliest pesticides for bees. The EPA is saying that they want to get rid of these. Okay, see if I can tell you. It's the chlorpyrifos, and these are organic organophosphate insecticide, also known as Lorsban. And then other names. There was another name on here. Dorsban is another name that it goes on, a trade name, but it has like many names. And many of these pesticides, they come, they put them just in all different kinds of packaging and different names. And this stuff is like in flea collars. And I have warned our listeners over and over again about and I watch these commercials on television and I just can't even believe it. They are pushing people to put highly toxic pesticides on their dog, directly on their skin, and like a child can't even touch the dog for like 2 days after that. It's so toxic. Why are we even putting this on our pets? I have had Dr. Alfred Pleckner, who has written several books. He's been a vet for over 50 years. He said that they cut these salesmen for these companies selling these pesticide-laden flea collars and other flea products come into the hospitals, the vet hospitals, and push and threaten them to sell these highly toxic pesticide flea collars and other products that are hurting your animals. So, don't put these pesticides on your animal. Please don't do this. Don't believe those commercials. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That is a perfect example. So they're actually looking at banning these pesticides. They are so bad. And so that's good news. And we need to support that. Please call your legislators and let them know. They've disapproved. They are not allowing these on wildlife refuges. That was the first step, and now they're trying to take it another step. And it's very hard to change these things. Very, very hard. And I just want to salute all of the farmers and other people that have really tried to stop selling these pesticides and get away from them. I really applaud you for making that effort. I'm sure that yourself and your employees and everyone around is better for it. Okay. EPA turns blind eye to dangers of mosquito misting systems. This spraying in our cities for West Nile virus is still going on. It's still going on, and it's horrible. It's forcing all of us to breathe this stuff. They spray this in the middle of the night even, right down in our neighborhoods, down our street. This is all the stuff that we're trying to address right now. And my heart goes out to all the people over in Vermont that worked so hard on the GMO labeling bill. They're now, and I want to give a thumbs up to Governor Sherman over there in Vermont for standing up to these companies and not backing down with his GMO labeling bill. You're a hero, Governor, and to Rep. Kate Webb and to Senator Zuckerman, who have been guests on our show and worked so hard on this, and to all of the Vermont groups over there that have worked on this GMO labeling bill. They are now under attack by the Grocery Manufacturers Association. This is the same group that paid millions of dollars for commercial after commercial after commercial during Prop 37 when we tried to pass GMO labeling here. They repeated the same commercials in Washington and Oregon for their GMO labeling bills. And most of the time, they're filled with lies. I mean, they told people in Oregon that they would never be able to have strawberries again if they passed a law that said no growing GMOs in Jackson County, Oregon. Guess what? Other counties have passed this. It didn't cost them one single dollar because it's on the honor system. So if your whole county passes a no growing GMOs in the county because other farms don't want to be contaminated and risk not being able to sell their crops on the open market because they're contaminated, because it tests positive, okay, it's there, okay, it tests positive. So since they don't want other people growing this, let's say you're a farmer in that county and you start growing GMOs, you think no one's going to know about it? First of all they have to do is look at the plant to know it's a friggin' GMO, okay? So just like the same thing that Estelle Foster from Organic Lifestyle Magazine told us, that in Santa Barbara they implemented where if you were going to spray pesticides around your house, you had to put a sign in your yard and you had to go knock on the door and personally tell all of the neighbors within a certain radius of your house that you were going to do it. Well, the amount of pesticide use dropped dramatically after that because people don't want to go tell their neighbors they're spraying pesticide. They'd rather do it secretly. Well, what do you think is going to happen in a county where everyone has bought into no GMOs and then someone starts growing GMOs and people notice it? It's going to be a stare down. It's going to be like, hey, in town, everyone's going to be looking at you like, why are you growing them GMOs? You don't have to spend any money to enforce this stuff, is what I'm saying. So when Monsanto comes along with millions of dollars worth of commercials trying to convince voters that it is going to cost them money and that they're never going to have strawberries again, oh my gosh, it's probably a lie, okay? It's probably a lie. Shoot, just the writing is so clear. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. And so the Grocery Manufacturers Association, it was obvious they were fighting against Prop 37, but in Washington, they tried to hide. And so people wouldn't know. The Grocery Manufacturers Association actually hid all the General Mills and Kellogg's and Kraft and all those Pepsi and all those people paying millions of dollars to defeat the GMO labeling. They were hiding behind the Grocery Manufacturing Association's skirt, so we wouldn't know who they were and that they were paying all this money, which to me says there's obviously something you're trying to hide about your product, and I certainly don't want to put that in my body. Anything you made, since you're paying all this money to hide about what you're doing with it and all the crap you're putting in it, like why would I want to put that in my body? So, this thinking is actually not that complicated. It's actually pretty easy to figure out. Just the first thing you have to do is just accept that there are all kinds of toxic chemicals and pesticides in conventional food. You just need to accept that. We need to quit being in this denial phase because it's hurting us big time. It's hurting us. It's going to hurt what we leave our children. It's going to hurt our children's health later on in life. We cannot be in denial. Okay, now, some of you may have heard Neil Young has come up with Monsanto years. And what I think is funny about this, it's actually is funny because these people are out there like just spreading all kinds of just lies and propaganda that is just trying to say that, oh, Monsanto is so great. They're doing so many wonderful things. They've given money here and there. And the same old rap from Hugh Grant, the CEO of Monsanto, has been saying for years and years and years, oh, our product is perfectly safe. And yet we have scientific research after scientific research showing the exact opposite, that this stuff is toxic, it causes disease. And so the CEO just keeps, it's just kind of like, the boyfriend that was cheating and he just figures, I'm just sticking to my story. That's my best defense, is just stick to my story. Just stick to my story. Never deviate from the story. And that's Hugh Grant, boy. That is him. CEO of Monsanto. And so, the thing is, he's trying to make Neil Young look like he doesn't know what he's talking about. So he says, "Oh, our products are safe, and there's all this misinformation out there, and it's too bad that there's misinformation in Neil Young's song." See that? See that double talk? See how they do that? So they're trying to tell Neil Young that he's stupid, he's a liar, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. So I hope that makes Neil like really pissed off. Really, really pissed off. So he's going to go out and get all his buddies to start boycotting all those GMO products. And I hope you are too. And I hope that I have got you thinking a little bit today, because it's not that hard to make these changes. I hope this 4th of July you'll have some organic choices at your barbecue and your party, and that you're going to think about maybe starting to make these changes. And this is part of being an American and being patriotic, because we stay healthy, we keep the pesticides and the GMOs out of our environment. Our country is going to start to change for the better. I promise you that. And so I hope that you're listening to me today, and I hope you're going to join me next Thursday and look me up on the internet and find some of the other stuff that I have out there. And sun oxidants, please go to Amazon and type in sun oxidants, OXIDANTS. It's our aloe and organic oil line that is incredible for your skin, and it's great for when you're in the sun to give you antioxidants to protect you, instead of sunscreen, to make some vitamin D and all other kinds of good chemicals for your health. And thank you so much from all of us right here at KCAA Radio. Bye, and stay healthy.
Once ignore these conspiracies
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m., the station that leaves no listener behind.
$6.3 billion, expanding its Medicaid and Medicare services to millions more people. The number of U.S. rigs drilling for oil and natural gas rose last week, something we haven't seen since December. And mortgage rates ticked a little bit higher last week to a new high for the year, just over 4% for a 30-year fixed-rate loan. I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH Plus. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.